Let's get it popping. Q&A. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We live.
My man, the barber. All right, so I have a big question, but it kind of falls into a lot. So how do you file your taxes? Because it's not really like hourly pay, what you want to pay, and then you go up. The prices go up, the prices go down depending on how you cut. Like how do you put it in your income taxes? That's really what I want to know. Because yeah.
All right, so before we even answer the question, we have to put a disclaimer. We are not CPAs or professional tax gurus, accountants.
Right far.
But we are barbers and we do file our taxes. You want to start the question?
That's right, Uncle Sam. Well, it's a little different for me because I'm in the Army, so I pay taxes as well. So I get a little bit of a break there. And I write everything off as much as possible. At least that's what I did this year.
What I would tell you, number one, is go to a CPA. Go to a CPA.
Yes.
Go to a professional. Don't go to H&R Block, and they'll set you up, man. They'll set you up for financial success. To be honest with you, like there's different ways you can play it, but the great thing about it is that you have a lot of options. That people who get W-2s, pay stubs, jobs, they don't have as many options. So I would just go to a CPA and figure it out. But you could pay your taxes at the end of the year. You could do it quarterly. I personally do it at the end of the year. But because you're a barber, you can write a lot of things off as long as you're doing it right. So definitely do some research in that. I think that's one of the perks of being self-employed or business owner, is that you do have those tax benefits.
Absolutely. I've been using a CPA for years before I even became a barber, so I stuck with the same guy. He's always helped me out, always gave me advice for years to come. Hey, when the whole insurance thing happened, make sure you have your insurance so you can avoid this penalty and whatnot. So
yeah, and they'll set you up so that you can buy a house as a barber, so that you can buy a car as a barber, so you can get loans as a barber. Because if you don't show up on paper, then you don't even exist.
exactly.
As far as a bank is concerned. So that's the answer to that.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy 360 GZ. I just got one question for you, man. How would you cut waves, man? Cutting my hair, what would you do different than what I would do, Let me know.
Man, 360, what you doing, Pop? Man, he's a great marketer. Just pop up on my Q&A.
Shouts out to 360.
Nah, shout out to 360 GZ, man. Like, with the wave cuts and everything, you the man. I mean, I can't help you be better than you already are, so.
I'm learning from you, bro.
Yeah. 360 GZ. Check out his channel.
Follow that man.
Alright, so that was my answer before I watched 360 GZ's recent Q&A video. It was like a live stream, and you can check it out right here. Okay, check it. Like right here. You can check it out. But here's my response. Alright, so I obviously answered that question before. I was on your live stream. I'm enjoying it. Everybody's answering questions, and the live stream's going crazy. People are answering like 1,000 questions a second. And all of a sudden, towards like the end, 360 GZ, you saw in the video, he's like, "Yo, Chris, let me know about the waves." But the video is delayed. When you do a live stream, it's super delayed by like freaking, I don't know, by like 2, 3, I don't know, like 10 minutes. It's crazy. So I kept answering. Everybody in the chat room's like trying to say 360, he's answering you. But I didn't have time to answer them there. Like, there's not a lot you could say by typing, especially when you're trying to explain how you cut hair. But this is what I would say. Obviously, I'm wavy. A little bit. No, that's just straight. That's just super straight hair. But even though I'm not wavy, the same way I know how to cut somebody with a comb over, the same way I know how to cut somebody with a mohawk. These are all haircuts I've never had. Same way I know how to shave somebody. I can cut waves. I mean, I feel like hair is hair, And for the most part, waivers, they know what number they want on top, whether it be a 3, a 2, a 1.5 with the grain. They know what they want on top. And I just ask them. I do the consultation. I ask them, and what I generally like to do is, and I don't know 360 if this is how you start, but I start right at the crown, because I know every single person has a cowlick right here in the crown area, and I'm just careful with it. I pay attention to the way the hair is trained, because when you have waves, you could train them. Like, I know some guys that come to the shop that they got 360 waves, and it's like a comb over. My man got a part right here, but he's been training the waves to go sideways. So, I just look at where the hair is trained. If they're woofing, obviously, it's gonna take a little bit of searching. So what I like to do when they're woofing is I just blow dry that thing. I'll wet it, or I'll put some product in their hair to protect their hair, and I just with a brush and I'll blow dry it and I'll comb brush it wherever I want it to lay, and then I'll start going with the grain from the crown area, making sure I'm not patching them up. And what I've noticed too is generally, like in the front or in the nape area, there's cowlicks. It's a real popular area to have cowlicks. So I'm just careful in those areas. Another trick I like to do is, behind the ear, or like around this area where the edge is, anywhere where there's edging, I like to lower it a little bit. So if they have like a 3, I might go with like a 1.5, like right at the bottom, just taper it down a little bit, so when I edge it up, it comes out dope. So I guess those are my tricks. And you want to keep the taper low. You don't want to cut too much of the waves off. Obviously, they work hard to have the waves as low as around their head as possible. So there's my 2 cents. Hope that helps.
Yo, I'm about to start barber school here on September 6th. Any tips, do's or don'ts? I'm from Columbus, Indiana.
Okay, any tips as far as barber school? The number one thing I would say is don't run away from haircuts. Like, do as many haircuts as possible. Do everything, because it's all about repetitions to me. Like, everybody's like, I'm not going to barber school because the schools around me suck. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what makes them suck. The teachers, who cares? The teachers don't matter. What matters are the reps. You have your teachers on YouTube, on DVDs, wherever you go. I mean, if you have a mentor at a local shop, those are your teachers if you need them to be. But the big deal is get your reps in. Practice is everything.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. That's funny, man. You brought back memories of barber school right there. People running away from cuts. Yeah. My biggest advice to you is learn everything from everyone. So there's gonna be somebody in your class that is probably been there the longest, and he's probably the best, or she's probably the best. And obviously that's gonna be the person you're like, I want to shadow that person. I want to learn from that person. It might be your instructor, depending on their skill level. But you should even learn from the people that make the mistakes. The people that we call it zeking, but the people that mess up people's heads. You should learn from them. This way you don't make the same mistake, all right? And definitely learn everything. Learn coloring, if it's available to you, Learn everything. Clipper over comb, different hair textures. Actually learn how hair works. And then obviously, like you said, get your reps in.
And don't be a product of your environment, right? So just because most of all the kids in your school, all the dudes in your school, all the women in your school, they're not using the razor, doesn't mean you shouldn't use the razor. Like, exactly. Use the razor. They don't want to do hot towel shaves. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Do the hot towel shave, because it's about being talented. Yeah, professional. It's your profession. It's your craft. So be good at everything. One of the things too is like a lot. The culture in my barber school at that time was kind of like
hood.
No, it wasn't hood. I'm not gonna say it was hood. Their attitudes was, you guys aren't paying me money, so it's like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. To me, that's your time to practice. So don't just practice your haircuts and get them in and out and not care. Like, practice your customer service. See if you can lock those clients in while you're in barber school. They're probably not gonna follow you to a professional shop because they're there for $2 haircuts. But if you can't lock them in barber school, then when you get to a barber shop, you're at a different scale. You provide a service, you'll lock them in at $20 a haircut. If that makes sense. Were you a product of your environment?
Nope.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, Chris? This is DeWarren over here from Inverness, man. I'm just trying to find out what's the best way to advertise. Instagram, Snapchat, or
I don't know if the question is what's the best way to advertise or what's the best way to advertise as far as social media is concerned.
I think that's what he's trying to get at.
Okay, as far as social media is concerned, Snapchat is already out the window. To me, that's not to advertise. To me, and don't get me wrong, it could work, but that wouldn't be my priority because it's not a platform, so to speak, to
Where people could just go find you.
can go find you. Exactly. It's a platform so that you can engage the followers you already have. So I wouldn't spend as much time on that as I would Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram is cool, but you know, like you see guys with 10,000, 20, 30,000 followers, and it's so saturated. I would say there's so many things going on your timeline in Instagram that even a guy with 40,000 followers, he posts a picture and he might get 50 likes, 100 likes.
Absolutely.
So that's cool too. I would say Facebook is.
Yeah. So what I would say is advertisement needs to be done on Facebook. Use Instagram as your portfolio, and Snapchat to engage your clients and followers.
Well put. I like that. Say that one more time.
Facebook should do your advertisement. Instagram should be your portfolio.
I'm right.
And then Snapchat should be how you engage your clients and your followers.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Bam.
I like that. So there's your answer for that.
Hey, what's up, Chris? Can you give any advice on someone that just started barber school and hasn't really cut hair like that?
All right. So when I started barber school, the only thing I really had done prior to that was a design on my cousin and lining myself up and cleaning myself up. But I would say sleepless nights of just studying, man. I remember watching till 3 in the morning. My wife would be like, "What are you doing?" I'd be watching Victor Barber. I'd be watching, you know what I'm saying? All these barbers on YouTube, Al's Millions and all these guys. And I just really got, what's the word I'm looking for?
Hooked. That's how it was for me.
Submerged? Is it submerged?
Immersed?
Huh?
Immersed?
Immersed? Fuck that.
Submerged in the crowd?
Yeah, I just dove into into as much information as possible when it came to barbering and everything. And I was excited to try new things, cut new things. You need that excitement. You need that obsessiveness.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you want to grow fast and be ready by the time you get to a barbershop, I was obsessed, man.
Yeah. Find what style makes you passionate about the game. Definitely. For me, he said hourless nights watching YouTube videos. For me, it was hourless, just hours in the barbershop. I literally went to every single barbershop that I was cool with anybody in there, and then I just talked to them. So before I came to Headlines, I was in Headlines 24/7, watching him, watching Carlos, watching all the barbers that were in there. You know, even to the worst barber in the shop, I was making sure that I watched him to see, how was he getting better, how was he growing, and what things I could apply to my craft, and if I really wanted to be a barber or not.
So I guess the number one thing would be obsessed. Get obsessed with learning your craft, and it'll show real quick when you know what I'm saying, while you're in barber school.
Hey, what's going on, Chris? My name's Carlos, and I'm a young barber. I want to know if you would ever, or your shop ever, does things as accept apprentices.
No, we don't accept apprentices because we're in Florida. In Florida, there's no apprenticeship program. But we have people shadow all the time. We have schools that come and do field trips, like barber schools and cosmetology schools. They come and do field trips, and we'll make sure, who was it that came? Benays? Was it Benays?
Benays came, yeah.
Benays, I think in Spring Hill, or in Brooksville, they came over, and we made sure that, you were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We made sure Loko was there. We made sure Perez was there. I was there. And we just had a fun day with everybody there, picking our brains and shadowing. So, those type of things we do, man. We definitely love the industry. We want to see all barbers be successful. So
Absolutely, you're welcome. What's it, 6 locations now?
yeah, we have 6 locations, man.
Six locations. That's 6 locations for you to, in the Tampa Bay area, for you to choose from. That if you want to just come in and shadow, spend a day. A day could change your whole barber career. You know what I mean? You might be picking our brains, and we're willing to share anything with you.
And the guys at Headlines, bro, they love sharing it. So I mean, you got Kevin at Sun Lake, who's a great teacher. JP as well at Northdale, and Nate and John, and the guys Abby and George.
You got
Matt,
always willing to teach.
Matt. So
you got
I mean, got a whole bunch of guys, man, at all the locations. Loco's over at Gibsonton, so Come through, shadow. But I will say this. A lot of people will ask if they can shadow. I'll tell them yes.
And they'll never come.
And they never come.
They never come.
Always, all the time.
Or they come, and then they don't actually shadow. They just get lost in the fun conversations and good times they're having in the barbershop. Yeah. If you're gonna come shadow, take it seriously, man. This is gonna affect your career. You need to be right next to the barber, watching what he does. And then not only that, not just watch him, but ask him what he's doing. If you're confused, you need to ask him what he's doing. That's the only way you're gonna learn. And then you need to be able to apply that. So if you don't know what he did, then you can't apply it to your, to your day-to-day life.
And I think that's why I like sometimes, like I understand a lot of times why, these guys who are having classes, they charge for their classes because it separates the pretenders
From the
You know what I mean? From the guys who are actually want that information, that actually value the information. So just don't show up to hang out.
Hey Chris, love your videos. I want to know, I have a Canon T5i. What kind of lens should I use for haircuts?
Yo, what kind of lens should he use?
So I have a Canon T5i. Right now for my haircuts, I actually use a 50 mil 1:8 aperture. That's a great thing to start out with. If you want to get a little bit more advanced with it, the 1:4 I think would be better. So you got right here, right? Oh no,
yeah,
you do have a 1:4 50 mil though.
For my haircut tutorials, I use a 1.4. Right here, we're using like a wide angle lens. It's a 10-18. So different lenses do different things. The 50 millimeter is like more of a portrait lens. It's a prime lens. It doesn't have a zoom or anything like this. This is more like a vlogging lens. But yeah, I mean, the 50 millimeter 1.8 is a great starter lens, and you can find that thing for like $100 on Craigslist or whatever on eBay, right?
I've gotten them for 40, as low as $40.
Yeah, so it's a no-brainer, and it completely changes the game for your camera.
Absolutely.
So,
and the other great thing is they actually call the 50 mil in the in the photography industry. They call it the human eye. So the 50 mil is I think a great start for you. It'll let your clients and or potential clients and people on Instagram or whoever you're trying to reach see your actual work up close in person.
Hey man, I was wondering if you had an app for tutorials, because if you do, I'll definitely buy it and get back on my barber game. This construction shit, bro.
I love it. Forget construction, barber, baby.
No app, man. No app.
No app?
But you know got an app.
That might not be a bad idea. 10 videos.
I finally got an appointment slot with you, bro. All right, so get them fingers ready, because I need the freshest. I'm looking rough. I need the freshest, all right?
When you can't book with Chris Basile, that's funny. Oh, God.